Hey everybody, Sirturmund here again. So today I wanted to bring you guys an interesting deck that I've been seeing running around on Twitter and ladder recently in the past few days. And this is made by Scathus. So his name is up here, Scathus. If you guys don't know who this person is, he always comes up with really interesting deck brews. One of the most familiar ones that you might be familiar with right now is the Ekko Zilean. So the current build of Ekko Zilean, where you kind of turbo level Ekko, that was all Scathus. So here he comes with another Scathus pile, and this one is playing Viktor, Vi, and Udyr. So it is a lot like other Viktor decks, but he's playing the Freljord, the Freljord cards and using the stance combo to get a little bit more value and guarantee that you can give Overwhelm on some of your big augmented units and not just rely on them rolling the right keywords or just relying on the ambush. So this is what the deck looks like. I'm actually going to start from bottom to top because I think the top end can be very important. Shaman Calls is such a good card in this deck because for 6 mana, you can just get 2 stance swaps. And remember, the stance swaps kind of created cards, which means that they will buff. First of all, they will count for Viktor, right? They will count for Viktor level up, and they will also buff your augmented units. Usually in this deck, when you're deciding what stance swap to use, the Wild Claw is going to be your go-to almost every single time. You can give Overwhelm to your Ballistic Bot, to your Viktor, or your Vi, allowing you to push an absurd amount of damage. Second to that is the Bear Stance. If you already have Overwhelm in your units, and you can do the Bear Stance to give them more health and give them more attack, because this actually becomes a +3/+2 on an augmented unit, right? Because remember, it comes as a created card. And then after that, I think I would say the regeneration is only good in like certain game states where you think you need to keep your unit alive against removal. And the Ram Stance is only really good against like an AoE board clear to give you to be able to clear their board. And you'll see one of our games where we actually take advantage of this. This card is so good in this deck, and it's one of the key cards that lets you win games. But it doesn't work unless you have other units to combine them with. So here's where our units come in. We have Viktor, Udyr, Vi, Udyr, and Viktor, right? So these 3 champions are really good for this deck. So Vi grows up really quickly, and you can give her Overwhelm with the stance swaps to allow her to just push the damage through as well as level up really easily, right? And the stance swaps let you keep her alive if you need to, right? The Udyr is really good because he can just combine and give us more stance swap, but he can also combine with the Whopping Wonder to give us a 0-cost stance swap. Viktor is just Viktor. Sometimes you will roll the right keyword, but again, in this deck, the beauty is that even if you have used 10 keywords and still don't see the Overwhelm, you can just give him the Overwhelm using the Shaman's Call or using just a regular stance, right? So these guys, together with the Ballistic Bot, which always continues growing every turn, become really our top end. And the damage from Ballistic Bot starts adding up really quickly because the other thing that this deck has is burn. We're running triple Mystic, triple Get Excited. So not only are you killing them by doing whether it's elusive from Viktor with the ambush combo or Overwhelm with like a buy, right? But once they get low enough in health, you can just go ahead and just finish them up with your burn as well, which this deck also carries. The rest of the cards, kind of the low cards, tend to be more supportive cards. So again, Whopping Wonder is just there to give us a stance swap. The Trojan is there to protect our units. Boom Baboon is really good in this deck as an early blocker, and you can combine it with a Poro Cannon to be able to pull things away. Because remember, the important part of this deck is doing a lot of ship damage early. The more damage that you do early on in the game, the easier it is for you to be able to find the time to finish with like an ambush, an Overwhelm, or your burn spells. So Boom Baboon allows us to do that by playing Boom Baboon, Poro Cannon into the chompers, and pulling a blocker away and pushing in with your Ballistic Bot or your Viktor. Ballistic Bot, nothing else can be said about this. This guy's a monster in PNC decks. Ambush is like another stance, except that instead of Overwhelm, it's going to give us elusive. 3 Sisters. A lot of times you might be using the Fury of the North to push more damage, because remember, because our units are augmented, this becomes a 4/4/4. But it can also be really good to use it for Flash Fleece if you need to win against like a Viktor mirror. Omen Hawk and Force Shifts are just there for value. Omen Hawk buffing your units and Force Shift giving you some mana. And finally, just Elixir Iron and Poro Cannon to kind of round up the deck. This deck is really, really fun. It's another flavor of playing Viktor, which is taking popularity, and I expect it to continue gaining a lot of popularity over the next week because we had another player called Fake Hero who's currently, I think, on like top 20 with this deck as well, just playing this pile. I will also link in the description the guy, so Scathus wrote a guide already on this deck, and I want to give him credit what he's due. So if you look in the description, you'll find a direct link to his written guide where he might have a little bit more information that I might be able to go through in this quick deck breakdown. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the games coming up soon. And remember, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to us. It will help us out a lot. I'll see you all at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Lulu Fizz. So now the get excited are nice, especially because we have the Boom Baboon. Wait, this is pretty good. Trollshan I think is also good. So I like the Trollshan as a way to like potentially save my unit, and we have the Viktor, so I'm okay getting greedy with my hand keep because we already have the Viktor in our hand. So we can do Boom Baboon at 2 to be able to block what they summon. We also have the Mystic Shot now, so we have a good way to block a lot of their units that they're gonna summon early on or kill them outright. The get excited is going to be really good against the Lulu, which is the one part that worries me about this deck. Yeah, I mean, this is, be my guess. I mean, the elusives are annoying, but they're not the end of the world, right? Oh, I wish I had that last turn. That would have been such a nice curve. Omen Hawk into Boom Baboon. And then still have enough mana for get excited. What he could do here is just pull and push the 4 damage. I would say that that's not correct for the opponent. So we're gonna just do it like this. We can still just do the Omen Hawk next turn while still having enough mana to do the get excited for the Lulu. This is actually not bad because it will give me access to the Ram Stance, allowing me to kill like his board. We can just do Mystic Shot on the Bomber Twins next turn if we need to. Because he's definitely gonna pull with the Flint Jumpers now that this is only one attack, right? Because that way he doesn't lose the Flint Jumpers for free. Now, opponent is already 1 unit away from just being able to trigger Yordle in arms. So that should be a very easy win, like a very easy trigger for the opponent. We know they have 3 cards in their hand. I feel like if they had Lulu, they would have played it right there. So I can just put them on not having the Lulu. So I think we're just going to go ahead and develop the Viktor. Viktor still gives us enough mana to do the Mystic Shot. Wow. I think I'm just gonna do this. There's no reason for me to lose the Omen Hawk. If the opponent has like a get excited and Mystic Shot or has double Mystic Shot and wants to commit down the Viktor, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. So I'm throwing my Viktor like this with no protection because if the opponent wants to bait out their removal spell, I guess I'm not okay with that actually, right? Our hand is really awkward, but the opponent won't know that. So I'm okay like forcing their hand. Like they want to kill this and commit to burn spells. It's gonna give me a lot of good things for later. Now they have no way to kill it, right? So now they have no way to kill it this turn, and then next turn, oh, we got the Overwhelm. Look at that. And now next turn we just do another one. We get a pretty good Boom Baboon right here. We have the Overwhelm. We have the Trollshan. Overwhelm and regeneration, meaning that we just we can attack right here, and as long as the opponent doesn't kill our unit right away, we're still in a good spot. He's looking for the last region. So my guess is that the opponent is looking for the last region that they can summon to be able to do Yordle in arms. My question is, so we have get excited. I think we need to be able to keep all our mana. We can do get excited. Unfortunately, the Shaman's Call is burst, but the spells are slow, so we have no way to. We could technically do the Shaman's Call right now. So we know the opponent still has 1 landmark from the Bomber Twins that they haven't played, and now we know they're gonna draw a card from here. We also saw the opponent put a spell on the stack last turn, which tells me they have either like a Mystic Shot or get excited. If the opponent taps out of enough mana to stop the Viktor, I might actually go ahead and do the double Ram Skull right here to clear his whole board. I'm willing to pass. So I'm actually willing to pass here. So the pass is going to put him on a spot where he can develop more, and then otherwise he's going to be burning a lot of mana as well. And if he burns a lot of mana, am I okay with that? I think I am, because I can still do the same thing next turn. I can do Shaman Skull, because His Yordle Arms is not scary right now. That's kind of annoying. So the reason that that's really annoying, I guess we have the Chompers, so it's not going to affect us that much. Opponent could still easily have Mystic plus get excited. So I don't think it's ever correct to do the Shaman's Call right here. Opponent still doesn't have Yordle Arms trigger, so they still need to do one more spell to trigger it. I want him to tap out of 5 mana. If they tap out of 5 mana, then I know they have no way to stop the Viktor, allowing me to go ahead and do the double Ram's Call. We still have Get Excited that will also summon the Chompers. I have to be very careful about the Rock Path. Okay, well, now we do it, right? So now we just clear the whole board. There we go. So now we do Ramstan twice. That will clear his whole board. And we don't have to worry about Yordle Arms being really annoying. Not only that, but we're going to push him for another 6 damage on top of the damage that we're doing from the Stance Swap. Alright, opponent ended up getting greedy in the end. I'm scared of the Rock Path, but not that scared because we have the Chompers that we can summon. We have 3 units that we can summon, right? We can do the Boom Baboon, Chompers, and Chompers. Meaning that I'm not too scared of losing our Viktor to the Rock Path. It is kind of annoying, though, that we have to play around this card. We know the opponent has... We attack, because even if he blocks with the Boom Baboon, it is regenerating back to full health. So now we know his hand is... Oh, the Poros are even better now. Because the Poros are even better. Oh my goodness. So he passed because he knows that we have to do something, right? Quick attack? Oh, wow. Yeah. Opponent passed because he knows we have to do something. Opponent knows that we cannot just let the Viktor die. Except that we can just do this. And now we have 2 units that can eat up the Rock Path before the Viktor dies. While still having enough mana for Troll Shen and to summon another Boom Baboon and another Daring Portal. This is also going to level up Viktor, by the way. So their plan is not really going to work that well. I kind of like the Boom Baboon better here, so that we can actually, because he can just pull the Daring Portal, right? This still gives us access to Troll Shen. So I think we're in a very good spot right now. Opponent can still do Yordle Arms, but what? All they're doing with the Yordle Arms is just clearing my board, and we still have access to do another Flame Chompers. And they're about to die next turn, by the way. They're about to die because they're not going to have a good blocker for the Overwhelm Viktor. And they don't have a way to kill Viktor this turn, even if they have Yordle Arms. Opponent just put that card in the stack again, so I'm going to put them 100% on having Yordle Arms. All we have to do is just have at least 1 more unit that can survive, that can eat off the Rock Path, and we're fine. So if the opponent does Yordle Arms, we block the elusive, he pulls the Baboon, right? And we block another one of his units, and we only take 6 damage. Actually, opponent doesn't even have the Yordle Arms trigger yet. They haven't played an Ionia or a Bilgewater card. So the Yordle Arms should still be at 3 out of 4. They play Bandle City, they play Shurima, and they play the Boom Baboon. So, not even really scared like that. And yeah, he had to summon the Yordle Captain because he needed a blocker. Except that we can just pull, right? We can just pull the blocker away. So we can do this, put the Chompers, we pull the blocker away, and we're still attacking for Overwhelm 12 damage, and then we have to get excited in our hand. Whew. So yeah, opponent lost the game the moment that they let us do the Shaman's Call and not have to worry about our units dying. It might have been a mistake for us to play around like Get Excited plus Mystic, but I think it was important for us to do that because we knew he had at least 1 burn spell from the fact that he put it on the stack the time before. He ended up being Pokestick, but it could have easily been like Pokestick plus Get Excited. So we could never target our Viktor until the opponent tapped out of the 5 mana. Now they could have 4 mana done double Mystic, but I don't think I was gonna play around a double Mystic. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against a Seer Seraph. So how will this matchup go? Udyr doesn't seem bad, to be honest, but maybe a little bit too early. I think we have to try to see if we can get a Viktor or the Vi in our hand first before we commit to like an Udyr like that. The Omahawk is not horrible. I'm thinking if it's better to put the Omahawk now or put it later. Because if we put the Omahawk now, then we just... If the opponent has like a Rock Hopper, it's annoying. We do have a lot of ways to deal with a Rock Hopper. So I guess it's not the end of the world. Let's just take our 1 point of damage right here. We might have to go ahead and commit the Poro Cannon Snetston. The Shaman Close is going to be really good at giving our Viktor or our Vi Overwhelm. Which is very, very good. Yeah, that's the Unravel Earth. So I'm thinking it's actually better not to... I think we have to get rid of the second Poro Cannon. We could have gotten rid of the Get Excited as well, actually. Yeah, actually, getting rid of the Get Excited was probably better. Yeah, getting rid of the Get Excited was probably a little bit better. Slightly better when you think about it. He could have Rite of Arcane right here. We're going to have enough. We're going to have Overwhelm by, potentially have Elusive with Ambush. We just need to start baiting out their actual spells, like their Quicksands, which is the biggest thing. Fearsome means that we can push an additional 3 damage here as well. So this is going to be 5 damage right off the bat. What we need to do is find a way to finish sooner rather than later. The Fearsome is huge. Fearsome is huge because they only have such little Fearsome blockers. Oh, the Viktor got buffed. I wish that Viktor was actually there earlier. So they get the Seraph. We get the Vi. So we can target the Seraph. We can target the Seraph next turn. He's gonna just kill both Elusives. We're gonna let the Omahawk die to the preparations. I guess the only problem here is that we're not gonna have... We're not gonna have... this Vi being leveled up. Which kind of sucks. Maybe I want her to level up this turn. Maybe that's actually correct. Maybe I need to actually do... Because we can easily level her up. Yeah, I think it's actually correct to develop the Ballistic. We develop the Ballistic, we do the head score, we still have the ambush. Opponent's going to be able to draw the Asir or the Seraph. We can even do the Shaman's Call to give Overwhelm, so that even if the opponent has... We also get the Elusive now. So we get Elusive. I think this is correct. Let's just give the Overwhelm right now and force the opponent to have the Quicksand right now. And even if the opponent has the Quicksand, it's not going to matter. We're going to give Regeneration to the Viktor. This is going to keep the Viktor healthy. Because if the opponent has Quicksand, opponent's gonna have to Quicksand both Viktor and Vi, right? So the problem with the Quicksand for the opponent is that if they Quicksand the Viktor and the Vi still levels up and the Vi is still killing their Viktor. But they have no choice but to do this. I mean, sorry, still killing their Seraph. So now we kill the Seraph at least. Yeah, there's a Quicksand. So that's the first Quicksand. And next turn we do the same thing again, right? Next turn we just do the same thing again. Our Vi levels up. Opponent can only play... Oh, actually, the opponent has 7 mana, so technically I guess they could play both champions. If they have another Seraph and they also have the Asir, they could play both champions, and that would be just enough to level up the... that would be just enough to level up the Seraph, because sorry, the Asir. The Asir is 2 away, so if they have exactly Seraph plus Asir, they will actually level them up. Doesn't look like they have it though. So I guess we just do this. What we can do next turn is that we also have the ambush. We have the Overwhelm, we have the Elusive, and we have the ambush. So we can attack with 3 units that are going to be really big. Okay, so he gets the Emperor's deck without Seraph here. We're not in any threat of dying. Our Viktor has regeneration, so we can block with Viktor without losing anything. And again, opponent really used one quicksand. I can put them on having the second quicksand, but I don't believe the opponent will have like, I guess, what? I don't think opponent will have like 3 quicksands, right? So we can do this, right? We can do ignition. We can do the double shaman skull. Make sure the ballistic bot can also kill by himself, right? Do I actually die here if I don't block? I guess technically we do. We're gonna have to commit the Viktor's Death Ray. We're gonna have to commit the Viktor's Death Ray and also block here. Yeah, like, I'm okay with this. They don't have any point of burn, so I'm completely okay with this. Yeah, fine with me. We probably didn't need to commit the Viktor Death Ray, by the way, but I don't mind it as a way to trigger another, like, trigger later on. So they don't have any burn damage, so now we can do the Shaman Skull. What we're gonna do, like I talked about, is make sure that our ballistic bot is, like, really big for the elusive. So now our ballistic bot is gonna be at 11. There we go. So ballistic bot is at 12. Viktor already has elusive. Pi already has overwhelm. So now we just open attack with the ambush and we win the game. Pi alone is killing. Even the opponent will need to have double quicksand right here. It will need to be exactly double quicksand, otherwise they don't win. And he's drawing, trying to draw, which tells me that they don't have it. Yeah, they don't have it. Because even if he quicksands the Vi still dealing 5. So the Vi still dealing 5, which is enough, together with the other 2 elusives, for us to win the game. And that's why the Shaman Pulse is such a good addition to this deck. Because you can guarantee that you can give your Vi the overwhelm. We could have also done the same thing with the Viktor, so we have to rely a little bit less on the keywords. It was a little bit scary there because I didn't do the math if opponent could kill me. But again, we had enough blockers that I felt a little bit confident. But we probably needed to, I guess it was actually, regardless, even if we counted, it would have been the same result that we came to. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Pirate Aggro. Now, this is kind of tough, right? They can rush us down pretty fast. But we have a lot of blockers. And we just got some of them here. The Omahawk is actually pretty clutch as well. I would love to if I could get my Get Excited here, that would be the best thing in the world. Because Get Excited is the one thing that worries me against Misfortune. Because a lot of our blockers are like this, that have 1 health. So Misfortune, like the Boom Baboon, for example, right? The Boom Baboon is just going to die to the Misfortune. So it's kind of scary. That's a huge blocker. I'm okay with this, right? Because we can block with the Omahawk on the Marai Warden. And we can just do the Booping Wonder to block the Jagged Butcher. Yeah, I think that's fine with me. This is completely okay. We have a good blocker for the Butcher. We have a good blocker for the Warden. So opponent will not be able to attack here. They could have Make It Rain next turn. So what we need to do is first summon and we get to Get Excited. So now that we get to Get Excited, I think it's actually better to do the Boom Baboon. We could also just pass. Passing might actually be okay. Okay, opponent decided not to play. I definitely want to play the Boom Baboon, I think. This is risky from the opponent because we could easily do a Stance Swap, but we can't do it because the opponent could easily also have Make It Rain. So what do? So if the opponent has to Make It Rain here, we probably need to do the Omahawk first, to be honest. So okay, no Make It Rain. We have plenty of blockers. Opponent will need to have exactly the Misfortune, and we have to Get Excited for the Misfortune. Okay, alright. I also forget about Twisted Fate. So the problem with Twisted Fate is that we can still clear his whole board, right? I guess we don't clear his whole board, but we clear a good chunk of it. We have to do it this way. We could also just Mystic Shot and then summon the... So which is better here? If we do the Ram Stance, we kill 3 units. He still pushes 4. Because we block the Grenadier. If we don't do the Ram Stance, we can do the Mystic Shot plus the Bolting Wonder, and he's pushing 1 more. He's pushing more, so it has to be the Ram Stance. Has to be the Ram Stance right here. We deal 1 damage to ourselves. We just block the Grenadier. We'll go ahead and do the Viktor next turn. Yeah, we have to block the Grenadier. This doesn't matter to me. What are you gonna do? I mean, +1 -1 power kind of sucks. Not a big deal. I guess the vulnerable is actually kind of annoying. We go to 13. We go ahead and summon the Viktor next turn. Summoning the Viktor though kind of puts us in a spot where we don't have a lot of power. So I think I'm gonna go with Vi instead. But summoning the Viktor is the same thing, right? Summoning the Viktor means that we only have 1 blocker. So now we can just do this here. And just kill the Corsair. I'm not scared of the Twisted Fate level up. We have Mystic and Get Excited to be able to shoot some of their stuff. Yeah, we're gonna have to Mystic and Get Excited, right? Their board. I guess Fervor is kind of annoying now. We definitely cannot take this much damage. I think I'm okay doing this. Let's go down to 8. Summon the Bolting Wonder, summon the Viktor. If the opponent has like... Okay, so opponent didn't have a Fervor here. Otherwise they would have done it. So opponent could be on double Decimate, which should be really, really troublesome for us. Okay, now they're gonna have the Fervor. Which is kind of annoying. Okay, so we know what their hand is, right? So opponent could have the Fervor right here. What we need to do is the Viktor. So if the opponent makes the mistake of doing Fervor on one of their units, the Viktor will be able to kill the Fervor on one of their 1 health units, right? Oh, we also get the Fearsome here. That's pretty good. As long as we keep enough mana for the Death Ray, I think we're okay. I want to force the opponent to be like, oh, I need to Fervor this right now. And then we can Death Ray. There we go. That's why I dragged the Elusive. I dragged the Elusive to bait the opponent into doing the Fervor right now. Because if I drag this instead, he would do the Fervor in this one, and we have no way to cancel that Fervor. So now all we need to do is just give the Overwhelm to the Vi. And we should be okay. I mean, yeah, sure, be my guess. We're still in a tough spot, though. Challenger? Decimate? So if the opponent has the second Decimate or has, like, anything else, that would be a problem. Yeah, we just have to go for it. If the opponent has the second Decimate or has the second Demolitionist or the second Fervor, we just lose. Okay, we have a chance now. I guess we just do it here, right? We have a chance. So we have a chance because if the opponent has the second Fervor, I guess he will always just target this one, right? We just have to open. We just have to open and hope for the best. If they have this, if they top like the second Fervor, we lose. Oh, perfect. We were also supposed to drag the Butcher, by the way, but it didn't matter because I mean the Vi was doing lethal by herself. But we were always supposed to drag the Butcher with the Champers. But I clicked OK too fast before dragging the Butcher. I dragged the 1 health unit, but I didn't drag the Butcher. But there we go. Overwhelm can clutch it in, allowed us to finish quick enough before the opponent was able to get more value. But yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against TF Kindred. Kind of annoying. Kind of an annoying deck to go against because our Boom Baboon is going to be a pretty bad target. I don't completely dislike this hand. The problem is that... So I like to get excited because I need to be able to kill the Kindred as soon as she comes down. I like the Boom Baboon because it gives me a fodder for the get excited. I like the Viktor, and then at this point, because we already know what a turn 2 play is going to be, I think it's okay. It's okay to just keep the Udyr in our hand. Of course, now that we got the Ballistic bot, I think it's always better to play Ballistic first and start working on the level up on the Viktor and the Udyr, technically. So we'll do it like this. Blocking here is always awkward because then it puts us in range of our Go Hard. Because this should be a Go Hard deck. But I guess... Oh, almost messed up there. I think we just do this first. If he passes, I'm going to do the Viktor first. Okay, the opponent decided to pass, which I think I'm okay with. So here we just do the Viktor. Opponent's going to do the Vengeance. And we call it a day. Yeah, we do this. And then we get excited the Kindred and call it a day. This is exactly why we kept the mana. We can even do the Ignition now. That's our fodder. Boom. Could have forced him to do the Glimpse first to try to kill our unit. I think that would have been fine as well. We could have done it that way. We could have attacked first with the Viktor. Yeah, we should have attacked first with the Viktor. We should have attacked first with the Viktor. That will force the opponent to be like, oh, I need to like block and do Glimpse, right? We're not attacking with Viktor because we're gonna die to a Go Hard if we do. We're still putting ourselves in a position where now we're vulnerable to like TF plus Go Hard. I just don't know how scared I am of that. Okay, now we have the Troll Chance, so I'm definitely less scared of that. Let's go ahead and do this first. Even if I take this 3 damage, I think I'm okay with this. Elusive? Okay, opponent's gonna have to deal with this Viktor sooner rather than later. We could have started with the Force Sheath. Alright, now I think we can do the Boom Baboon. And then do the Force Sheath. I'm scared of TF though. I'm scared of TF, so maybe I don't commit 2 cards that have 1 health. Maybe we just keep it like this for now. Remember, this guy has Scout, so we can literally just do this to open up with. I know it's technically less damage, but I want to force the Vengeance out. Yep. So I wanted to force the Vengeance out. Because otherwise, the opponent would just be able to do whatever they want. Now, here's the question. How crazy is it to go for the Overwhelm right here? Or is it just better to go for the Udyr? Wait, we can also do the Ambush. They don't have a play for the Ambush. So, we could put this to 11, and then the Ambush will put it to 13. Might be too aggressive. Might be too aggressive right now. I'm just trying to see if there's any other better play, though. I'm gonna say that there isn't. I'm gonna say that there isn't. I'm gonna say that there isn't a better play right here. Right? I think it's better to just do the Overwhelm, though, instead of going for the Ambush at this moment. I think we can save the Ambush for later. Because we can still do the Ignition right here. I guess probably we don't want to do the Ignition, right? We probably don't want to do the Ignition because we probably want to save enough mana for Troll Chant to play around a Go Hard. Or a Twisted Fate next. Yeah, because he's always going to block like this, right? So he's always going to block like this, which means that I'm actually going to do the Troll Chant right now. So that we can keep this out of range of like his Go Hards or anything like that. Or a Twisted Fate, right? So now this still has Overwhelm. So next turn we can still have the Overwhelm on the Ballistic bot and we can put the Ambush on another one of our units. That way we have 2 attackers that can finish the game. Which is what we're looking for. Here we go. So now we can play the Udyr here. I guess we could have just done Ignition instead, to be honest. But I don't hate this. Because we can do Ignition. Put him at 7. Udyr will go... Oh, okay. So he's just going to go ahead and kill the Udyr. I think I'll have to be okay with that, right? So here comes his first Go Hard. So he gets rid of the... So I guess it should have been ballistic. I wasn't playing around the bots. I don't think I'm... Wow! Ha! This loses to a whale. If opponent does Twisted Fate, they'll be down to 4 mana, and then they will have no way to kill the ballistic bot. They can't do a Twisted Fate. They lose the game. If the opponent does Twisted Fate, they literally lose the game. That's a spicy one. If the opponent does Twisted Fate, they literally lose the game. As long as we keep enough mana here for ambush, they don't have enough mana. Okay, the stun. Okay, I didn't play around the stun. But does the stun really matter? This is gonna go... Yeah, the stun doesn't matter. The ballistic bot is lethal right here. We do the stance swap. He's put it at 5. We do the ambush, puts it at 7. Aww, okay. So then he still dies to the Udyr, right? Playing around double bots was never gonna be my thing, but it's still fine. And there we go. I don't think we're ever opening that turn, by the way. Even if we get stunned by the Twisted Fate, like you saw there, I think he always lost. But we don't ever want to open because we don't want to die to a vengeance and our whole attack to be ruined. So I think it was actually always better to develop first and force out those answers that he did there, like how he had to Twisted Fate to stun the ballistic. That left him with 4 mana, and then we were able to win from there. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Viktor Lee Vi. So don't think Trojan is necessary in this matchup as much as other matchups, because the opponent doesn't really have a lot of great way to do removals. I do like the Viktor and I like the Udyr. If I get the Booping Wonder, that would probably be better. Okay, I mean, the Omahawk is fine. Get Excited is not great. I guess actually Get Excited is very good. I'm actually gonna keep the full mana for the Get Excited. Yes, I'm gonna keep the full mana for the Get Excited, because I think we can just, if we get excited their ballistic bot, they're gonna be in a big trouble. Oh, perfect. We got a fodder for the Get Excited now. I was gonna think of discarding the Omahawk. So obviously I played the opponent's deck a lot, right? It's been one of my favorite decks for the past week. And one thing I can tell you is that they really need the ballistic bot. If they don't have ballistic bot, it's gonna be very hard for them to start up the engine. Now, they could punish the ballistic bot play by having a Twin Discipline, but I think I'm okay with that, right? So let's say they have the Twin Discipline right here. Now, if they do Twin to save the ballistic bot, they don't have enough mana next turn to play both Viktor and the Ignition. Opponent doesn't have it, so the fact that we kill the ballistic bot like that is a huge hit. And now we also get the Wonder, which is going to give us the 0-cost Stance Swap. Do I need to let this die? Do I need to just push this damage? Scathus is nice because we're gonna give it Overwhelm. Opponent obviously rolled the elusive. 3, 6, 7. I guess we should, to be honest. I guess we should, right? It's gonna count 3 towards the Udyr level up, sorry. Yeah, we lose the Flame Chompers where we're pushing 7 damage. Opponent doesn't look like they have the other dragon, so I'm okay pushing this damage, especially because we're gonna be giving Overwhelm really quickly here. Now, opponent will be able to... They will need to have Twin Discipline to kill the Viktor, and that's not gonna be enough because we're gonna have a Elixir of Iron. We have the Fury as well. So the Elixir of Iron is gonna save us. Fearsome Elusive, yeah, whatever. I mean, him getting Elusive, it is what it is. So they will have to commit the Twin here to be able to actually kill the Viktor. Ambush as well, and then this play gets punished by us having a Elixir of Iron. Now we don't get to kill the Lee Sin, unfortunately, which sucks, but we're still able to kind of set up for the rest of the game. The question here is, I actually think we have to just play the Udyr, sorry, first. This is also scary because the opponent could also have Mystic Shot. So Mystic Shot will kill our Viktor right here, and they do. So now we're just relying purely on Udyr, which I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Unfortunate. Fortunately, we did have Troll Chant, and the opponent, remember, still has the elusive, but we did do the ambush. So during the ambush is pretty good, because now the opponent is gonna be in a position where, like, if they try to has to be the regeneration for now, I think. If the opponent tries to attack with the Viktor, we can ambush to block the Viktor and actually kill it, as long as the opponent doesn't get quick attack. Ah, I don't think I agree with that unless the opponent has exactly. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull the Udyr. So they're trying to pull the Udyr. I think the force shift is actually better here. He might have a twin, or he might have a second Mystic Shot. He's gonna try to block the Udyr with the Lee Sin. Otherwise, what is it take? He's taking a lot of damage here if he doesn't block with the Viktor. If he blocks with the Viktor, we can commit the ambush right now and prevent him from potentially getting like another play later. Ah, okay. So he plays around the ambush right here. Plays around the ambush. We still get the Stance Swap. We get to have the 3 mana here. Putting regeneration on Udyr doesn't make sense because the Lee Sin is going to pull him next turn. So I think we just pass. Now, the problem is that we kind of, like, we have to put in a 4 HP, but we don't really have a way to push damage, right? Because we're gonna have to spend our ambush right here. Maybe we don't spend our ambush now. Maybe we actually just take that damage. Opponent just happened to roll the perfect keyword on the Viktor that will stop them from dying. So if that's the case, if that's the case, maybe we let him pull this. We let him pull this, and the opponent's gonna have to have the lifesteal next turn. So they're gonna have to have the Spear's Refuge to actually make a difference. The fact that he got quick attack is so unlucky for us, right? Elusive quick attack. So now, even if we block with the ambush, we just lose the unit for free, which I don't think is worth it. This is gonna be 11 damage. We might... Okay, so opponent is forcing us to have to block, right? 8, 12, 13. I'm okay with the 13. This is tough, right? Because if we do this, we're losing one of our units. If we don't do this, this is 9, 10, 15. I mean, sorry. 9, 10, 11, 15. And opponent still gets a wide board. I think we have to just do it, right? Because the only way that we win is pushing enough damage. The only way that we win is pushing enough damage. And the only way that we do that is to get rid of the opponent's blockers. Opponent's actually going to deny that. My problem here is that the opponent still has enough blockers to just win the game. Huh? So this is very difficult now because we go down to 1. We go down to 1. Udyr, he denied that, meaning that the Udyr will die. We don't have enough attackers. We're gonna need one more attacker for us to actually win the game. We get it. We have the ambush to push the last 2 damage. If the opponent literally has any other unit to block, or has the Concussive Palm, or the Spear's Refuge, or the Mystic Shot, or anything. Now, here he could get Mystic Shot, Concussive Palm, right? Or Spear's Refuge. So there's 3 spells that punish us here. 3 spells that punish us. And he just, okay, I didn't know they were playing Aftershock either. So yeah, GG's. We tried our best, but the Viktor rolling the quick attack made it so that we got too low. And I don't think it was ever worth it to block with the ambush because against the quick attack, because we would have never won anyways. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against... It's going to be against Ooh, Ekko Zilean. So, we have some freezes. And Trollshed is actually going to be pretty good against this matchup as well. Get Excited is also pretty good because he can hit the Ekko. We don't have to get excited right now, but I would hate to get... I definitely want to keep the Vi. Having Vi early is pretty good. Trollshed I think is very good. I don't know how I feel about the Boom Baboon. Especially because Boom Baboon is vulnerable to Time Bomb. I want to see if I can try to get a Ballistic Bot or a Viktor. Okay, we got the Boom Baboon back. This hand keep is probably very greedy. I just started playing the deck, so it's still hard to tell what the right hand keep is. But I'm guessing the deck is playing very similar to other Viktor decks, right? Meaning that you definitely probably want to see Ballistic Bot or you want to see the Viktor early on. But we can just take it like this right now and kind of see how it goes. I'm actually going to do the Boom Baboon here. That will prevent... That will mean that if the Chronomancer attacks... we at least have a good blocker for the Chronomancer. If we do the Wonder, he can still attack with the Chronomancer. Yeah, so I'll take this block right here. So at least the Boom Baboon can go down swinging versus the Chronomancer, which has 3 health. I guess here we can do the Wonder. I guess we can give... We could give Vi regeneration, to be honest. That's not a horrible idea. Of course they get the Crystal right away. Well, I guess it took 2 predicts. They predicted Chronomancer first, and now they predicted here, but still. Kind of annoying. I think it forces me to not summon the Sheaf. Just so that we don't just die. Now, again, we have to probably potentially keep this just for Ekko. Because opponent could easily level up Ekko right here. They could have... Yeah, they could easily have another predict. If they attack like that, then I'll take that and I'll just develop the Viktor. Like, I'm completely fine taking that. Taking that trade, I mean. Because remember, that 2-drop was always going to die to the Headside Crystal anyways. So, I'm okay with that. Now that we got lucky and top deck the Viktor this time, now we can start playing the Viktor Roulette, where we try to see what keywords we get, and kind of go from there. Impact, not a great start. Additionally, here we can do the Vi, which I think is slightly better than Ballistic Bot at this moment. We won't be able to level her up just yet, but we will be able to at least clear his board real quickly. Now, the problem is that his Ekko... we'll do this. We'll kill the Zilean just so that we don't lose to like a random Zilean level up. I think a random Zilean level up would be really annoying. Faded is actually not bad because we could target... We could technically target... We could technically target the Viktor with the Stance Swaps. So it's not the end of the world. He could have a second Zilean. If that's the case, I think I have to be okay with that. Okay, it doesn't have it. I'm surprised the opponent is playing Financier. I don't think the Varus Financier is that good in this specific deck. But maybe the opponent is just looking for more units. Now, we still have Get Excited to be able to target the Ekko, which is really good. Even if they have Absolver, we'll have the Mystic Shot for it. Right? So that's what makes me feel a little bit better here. Now the Viktor has the potential of just straight up dying. Vi is gonna level up next turn. Ooh, opponent still doesn't have... Looks like opponent still doesn't have his Ekko. I'm doing this to force blocks. So now he's thinking, if I do the Headside Crystal, he can get rid of the blocker. If he doesn't, then, you know, it's fine. I'm like completely okay doing this. And we'll do the Ballistic Bot. We'll start developing the Ballistic Bot and getting the Creator Card from the Victors and potentially get the Viktor level up. If I can get the Viktor level up, I'm completely okay with that. We can also potentially get... Oh, wow, look at that Fearsome. That's pretty good, isn't it? Nice Scare. Oh, okay, so he's joining a Rata Negation here soon, huh? We have Trollshed as a backup to save the Viktor. So I think I'm okay to take it slow. I think we're gonna put the Overwhelm on the Viktor, while also being able to do the regeneration. I guess the only problem is We might not be able to do both, because then we won't have mana for Trollshan, right? Because Viktor needs 3 more cards to level up. He needs 3 more cards to level up. This is 1, this is 2, 3. This is 7 mana though, so that would leave me only with 3 mana. So even if this is discounted, it wouldn't work. Huh. Let's do it here first. I want to do this first and just give the Viktor the regeneration. He already got the Overwhelm, by the way, from the last head score upgrade that we did. And we can also give the Vi Overwhelm. So now this is going to have regeneration. This is going to have Overwhelm. Okay. This triggered the Faded. So now we have Fearsome. We give the Vi the Overwhelm. Opponent could easily have Quicksand, by the way, which is very likely. So it's possible that we're not going to be able to actually push lethal this turn. If that's the case, I'm okay with that. Let's just level him up then. Let's force the Quicksand out. Even if the opponent has the Quicksand, I'm okay forcing it out right here. We could also just pass, but I think passing is wrong. Because passing means that... Also, by the way, the Quicksand, if the opponent has double Quicksand, it actually will not be able to stop our Vi from leveling up, because it's only going to take it to -2, so the Vi is still going to be at 10. Because if he has 1 Quicksand, he has to do it on both units, right? He can't take this much damage from Viktor. Spirit Fire from Financier. That still levels up the Vi, and that's still lethal because of the impact. Okay. So then we just kill with Mystic Shot. Alright, but you can kind of see the power of this deck, right? The stances, you're able to give the Overwhelm to the Vi, and then just finish the game like this. The funniest thing is that the one of Udyr is just there kind of like an extra support. You're very rarely going to level him up. So, and here we go. Whew, there we go. So that's the game. That was a pretty good roll. The fact that we got the Overwhelm the Viktor there from the head score upgrade was huge. I guess it could have also been elusive, so I guess we had 2 options there. Because then that meant we didn't have to commit the other stance swap that we had, and we could keep the mana for the Trollshan. Although, once the opponent did not go for the Mystic Shot kill on the Viktor, when I did the regeneration, I think I would have been fine also committing the Overwhelm on the Viktor. But yeah, GG's. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. You can kind of see how the deck works, right? A lot of times where we just run straight up through the Overwhelm, especially Overwhelm on the Vi, can be so good, right? So, really fun deck. I know the flavor of Viktor. You can kind of see how strong Viktor really is in the current meta, man. Like, there's so many different barriers of Viktor. You have Viktor Vi with Freljord, you have Viktor Vi with Shadow Isles, like spraying like Allegiance. You have Viktor Lee Vi, right? I think Viktor is really good. Might be a little bit unhealthy though because of how RNG his keywords can be. But anyways, that's besides the point. In terms of mulligan tips, I have to just say that obviously you want to keep your ballistic and your ballistic bot and your Viktor are really the biggest thing, right? They're both the engines that kind of enable the rest of your deck, and they can go really quickly the faster you have, the earlier you have them in the board, right? If you have a ballistic bot on turn 2, the ballistic bot is going to be like 5, 6, 7 attack by the time you get to your turn 6, right? Especially if you have a Viktor as well on top of it to continuously be buffing the ballistic bot. So definitely I will keep these 2 units almost every time in the mulligan. I don't mind keeping the Omen Hawk, right? Because it's an early unit that you can drop on both the rest of your units. And then the rest is kind of going to be matchup dependent. Boom Baboon is not bad, especially if you have Pearl Cannon. Full Shift is not bad either. But definitely want to say start working on your engines. I will never keep Udyr except unless I have like a really good hand already. And then Vi can be a good keep sometimes, sometimes not, depending if you feel like you have a good rest of your hand. So again, it will depend on the game state. So Wonder is also an interesting keep. But for sure, try to go Ballistic and Viktor first. If you already have them, then you can decide what other ones to keep from there. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the games. And remember to check out Scathus' guide. I will link that below in the description. Again, this guy was the person who made this deck. He's a monster deck brewer, always bringing interesting decks to the meta. So keep an eye out for whatever else he comes with next. Again, if you like the content, please subscribe below. It will help us out a lot. You can also catch us at Twitch at Sirturmund, where we stream 3 to 4 times a week. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.